Hello, hello. Hey, Scott. Hey, Westside. Hey, Ben. Hey, Lurkers. Actually made it on a Thursday. So how is everyone doing? Did you guys see silver's almost at 36 an ounce? Wonder if it'll keep that uptrend. Maybe it'll get back up to that $40 mark. So, but $1.19 so far today. It's at 35.73 an ounce. Well, it made it to $40 an ounce during COVID, but other than that, yeah. So we'll see if it holds steady. I think it will. It rarely ever gets down like below 32 anymore. I remember back right before COVID, it got down to like 13 bucks an ounce. That wasn't even that long ago. It was like, what, 5.5 years ago? I don't know where that came from. All right, showing 5 people on. Give it a few minutes. Hopefully we'll get some more in. Just jumped up to 7. Yeah, I wish it would have stayed a little longer to stock up. We're surviving. That's about the best I can really get. Yeah, we got to be careful or we're going to end up getting into hyperinflation territory. Go buy a gallon of milk and it's $5 million bucks. Right? Or end up like it did in Germany for a time where it was cheaper to burn the banknotes than it was to go buy coal with them. Well, we were at 7. We're back down to 5 again. Hey, Richard. I wonder if there would ever come a time where, like, all the nations would all just, all at once, just be like, you know what? Clean slate. All of us are going to forgive our debts to everybody as of this point. Everything starts brand new. Wonder if that would ever happen. Probably not. Yeah, that's what I was saying. That's when you know you turned a corner. When it's cheaper to burn your money than it is to go buy wood for the fireplace, you have definitely turned a corner. Richard, I have not gotten your package out yet. I never found a chance to get to down to the post office this week, so I apologize for that. I will get it out early next week. Alright, get the beginning stuffs out the way. For anybody new, payments made via PayPal. Use cheapskatecoins@gmail.com and use goods and services only, please. We also have Cash App using the same email, cheapskatecoins@gmail.com. If you use Cash App, it will say Louis Kachera. That's me. You are in the right place. Shipping is $6 to $23. $6 being the little purple bubble mailer, $23 being a large flat rate box. If you want your package sent registered, it is an additional $35 charge on top of that. And the only way that you can actually insure your coins all the way through the mail. Keep in mind, if you do have it sent registered, you will have to sign for it when it arrives. We do hold packages. If you want your package held to maximize shipping, just let me know. I always recommend send me an email and say hold my package. That way, in case it shoots by in chat and I don't see it. That's why I always say email me, let me know. If you're new, you can't get stuff tonight. You just have to email us by the end of the night. Email has to have your personal info, shipping info, your channel name, so we know who the heck you are, which payment method you're going to use, and what email you use for that payment method for invoicing purposes. If we don't get that email, you will not get anything, and we never ship without payment. As always, check down in our description section for the rest of our rules and policies. Little things like we only ship to US. Alright, here's our Facebook link. If you're on Facebook, go give us a follow. Today's lot list is on there. It is the top post. We do put the lot list on there every day we have a sale. We also have a mailing list. If you want to be on the mailing list, shoot me an email, cheapskatecoins@gmail.com, and say add me to the mailing list. If you're on the mailing list, you will get the lot list a few days before. Sometimes it's like 1 or 2 days before, but I'm trying to get back to doing it faster. So it'll be like anywhere between 1 and 4 days before the sale. As soon as it hits your email, you have the ability to pre-purchase items. So if you want something, don't wait, jump on it. We do not charge right away for pre-purchases. We wait until after the night of the sale and then invoice everybody together. And then, of course, the day of the sale, when we put the lot list on Facebook, Anything that went in pre-sale has been removed. So what you see is what there is. All right, a couple quick things. So we are into June now, so happy June. So on Sunday, I am going to be doing the Montly Loots giveaway. It's actually going to be for from April and May, because I never did April's. So I'll be drawing a couple extra names to make up for the extra month. Just a reminder to everybody, though, that for the foreseeable future, that is going to be the final monthly loot giveaway until we can get our finances back under control. I don't want to go into the whole thing, but those of you that have been around long enough, you know what's going on with us and the whole insurance thing and all that stuff. So for the time being, unfortunately, we will not be able to do that for a little while. The sellout giveaway pot is still going to be a thing. That one is sticking around. For anybody who's new and doesn't know, anytime we have a sellout, which is where we sell everything on the list, we take a percentage of the overall total and we put it into a pot. And then at the end of the month, whatever's in the pot, we'll use to go and get the best coin we can get for that money and give it away to somebody. We did a gold coin recently. I think that the Cat Bus $50 is still the best one we ever did. That was one of 3 coins for that particular giveaway before you guys all decided that you'd rather just do one coin that's like maximizes the money. But even then, that one was like $400 and something. That was a good coin. So that's why I always say, tell your friends, get everybody over here. Because if we can get to the point where we're selling out every week, we can build that pot up really big. And I'm telling you, even if we get 500 people on here all buying stuff and I have to make 10 lists a week and we end up with $2,000 in the pot every week, $3,000, whatever, that just means that somebody's getting something really, really good. Although, honestly, at that point, I probably would break it up again. I'd probably go with, drawing a few names. But yeah, so that is where we are at on all of that. So, alrighty. Alright. Grab a drink real quick. Get my caffeine. Oh, Richard, if you're in the market for some more World Poundage, I have more in. Grant, if you get any, it's going to either upgrade you or it's going to start a new package. Most likely, depending on how much you get. Alright, kicking off with World Banknotes as always. Thank you for that. I do try and be a good channel and not one of the bad ones. So we were just talking about German banknotes, and that's what all of our banknotes are for tonight. So hopefully somebody's in the market for some German banknotes. First one is 1914, 5 marks. It's a little tattered, so it's only $2. But, hey, how good are you going to look at 111 years old? Anybody at $2? Is that out of focus or just me? That's better. It was a little out of focus. Alright, moving on. To the 1910 20 marks. This one's going for $4. Don't quote me on it, but I think this is one of the years, if I remember right, that's got a red ink version and a green. So I think there's a red seal and a green seal version, but don't quote me on that for sure. I think it is, though. Which is why I didn't mark anything about it, because I wasn't 100% sure. Alright, moving on. To 1914, 20 marks. Again, going for $4. Alright, moving on. There's no love for the German banknotes tonight, huh? Next up is 1919, 50 marks. Alright, moving on. Alright, and then the next 6 are the 1920 100 marks. So yes, I do have 6 available on these. So there's number 1. Number 2. Oh, it might be a semi-fancy serial number with having 333 on it. Hey, Moosox. Nope. Nothing in that date range. The number 4. There you go, Mabel. Five. And number 6. Anybody on any of those? Scott, do I have your info? If not, I need you to email me. I'll put it in chat real quick. That's my email. So email has to have your personal info, shipping info, channel name, if you're going to use Cash App or PayPal, and what email you use for that payment method for invoicing. And then your total at the end of the night will be, of course, everything you got plus shipping based on what package size you're in. And then if you want your package held until you can fill it all the way up, I am happy to do that. You got it. All right, so one of those going to you. I need to make you a card. Give me a sec. Need a new card. Need a marker. Scott. Alrighty. Alright, so 5 of those left. Alright, and last of the banknotes today is 1922 1 million marks. Millard Bark. Anybody? Also going to Scott. Alrighty. You know, you can also just type in bin if you want, just BIN. That's what most people do. You don't want to have to hunt down number keys. Alrighty. If anybody else wants the rest of those banknotes, let me know. If anybody wants a bundle on all those banknotes, let me know. Alrighty. Next up is Ancients. For anybody new, I probably do more Ancients on this channel than any other channel on YouTube. Same with World Silver. I probably do more World Silver on this channel than any other channel on YouTube. Those of you that have been here a while, you've seen these three before. I'm running them again. I'm going to lower the prices on them tonight for you guys, though. So you guys have seen these before. First one is the 359 to 336 BC Alexander the Great. Sorry, Philip II, father of Alexander the Great. This is from Kingdom of Macedonia. Really, really good condition. This is a 6.4 gram bronze. Original price on this was 85 bucks. For tonight, I will do it for 70. Give you guys a good deal so we can try and get these into somebody's collection. My light on my scope is dying. But there is your obverse. The head is Zeus. And then reverse. Anybody? Think about how old these things are. It'd be roughly another 300 years before Julius Caesar is born. That is a serious piece of history right there. See if I can get that a little closer. Man, even at 15 bucks off, nobody wants that? All right. I need to find some Ancients people to get them up in this channel. The time when that coin was made, humans had only been making coins for about 300 years. Next up, 244 to 249 AD Rome. This is Philip I. Silver Antoninus. Regular price on this one was 50 bucks. Tonight, I will do it for 40. And this one's going to Moose Ox. Gratzer. Ooh, why are my caps locked? Go away. All right, and then the last one, 591 to 628 AD rum, or well, it's technically, no, it's not technically rum. This is Sasanian Kings. That's the Second Persian Empire. It is Kuso the Second. Which way is right up? There we go. It is a silver drachma. It is AU. You know what? I'm going to give you guys a really, I probably shouldn't even do this, but I'm going to. Tonight only, I'm going to knock 20 bucks off. 65 bucks. For a Kuso the Second. Check out how good a shape this thing is in. Going to Moose Socks. Congrats, sir. That coin right there at the time was probably a week's wages for a lot of people. All right, if anybody decides you want the Philip the Second 350 BC one, let me know. Yeah, that was a nice one. Scott, I will invoice you on PayPal. It will actually it'll be a payment request that I will send you. Letting you know how much you're gonna owe. So it'll be whatever the total for whatever you got, and then your shipping. So if it's a little purple bubble mailer, it'll be $6. If it's a small flat rate box or a padded mailer, that's $10.50. Medium flat rate is $16, and a large flat rate is $23. And it goes by dimensions and weight. What am I doing? Moose Socks. That's what I'm doing. Okay. There we go. So yeah, if anybody decides you want the BC one, let me know. And Moose Socks, we are now on to the ones that you were interested in. These are old Canada bank tokens and merchant tokens. First one is 1812, large letters, centered ship. Wrong camera. Halfpenny from Nova Scotia. It's in a VG for 30 bucks. It's from the Trade and Navigation Coins. Centered ship, by the way, is this little tiny ship that's right there, is right in the center of the water. Anybody? Alright, moving on. Next one actually impressively still has some of the original copper color. It says 1813 Trade and Navigation, halfpenny, Nova Scotia. And it's in a fine. Going for 18 bucks. And this one's going to Moosox. Congrats, sir. You live in Nova Scotia? Cool. Alright, next up is 1832 halfpenny token. Nova Scotia in a fine. This one is one of the provincial bank tokens. Going for 10 bucks. There's King George on there if anybody was wondering. Going to Moosox. All right, next up is 1833. This is to facilitate trade. It's got the ship on the obverse and the plow on the reverse. Halfpenny from Upper Canada, 10 bucks. It's in a VG. Skewered meat marinated to perfection with 13 spices. I'm allergic to onions, but the rest of it sounds good. This one's going to Dandy Dave. That sounds good. Give me one sec. I forgot to raise my table. Here we go. Now I don't have to keep bending over every time. All right. Next up. $18.41 obverse number 2, Rutherford St. John's. Say halfpenny merchant token, Newfoundland. It's in a VG. This obverse has no date, so I had to look it up to know when it was released, and it's got the side flip, not the up and down flip. So its alignment is up and up. This one's going for 15 bucks. Anybody? And if anybody's wondering, yes, that is a dead animal hanging on a hook. All right, moving on to the 1842 small trees. Halfpenny from Montreal in fine for $10. Yeah, I can do 12 on that last one. You got it for 12, Moose Fox. So this one, if it would have been the large trees, it would have been like a $600 coin. But unfortunately, it was not. And the trees are right there and right there. And this one's going to Dandy Dave. Congrats, sir. All right, next one. This one is one of the best of the bunch for tonight. This is the 1846 fine wool with rosettes. Rutherford Harbor Grace. Halfpenny, Newfoundland, Canada, VF. Going for $45. It is extremely rare coming across these things still in this kind of condition. See how much detail is still in there. Anybody? And nobody wants the best one. Maybe on the recap. All right, moving on. Next up, 1837. This is a 1 penny. We're done with the half pennies. This is the figure in the sash on the obverse. This is from Quebec. It's in a good argument, could be made for a VG, but I wanted to be safe. Going for $10. 1 penny. By the way, this is a dollar holder, like a Morgan dollar holder. So that shows you how big these pennies were back in the day. That's a big piece of copper right there. Also got the 1852 of the same one. Figure and sash from Quebec. This one is a VG. If anybody wants both, I'll do both as a package for $16. Saves you $4 if you get both. That way you got the 37 and the 52. And Dandy Dave's taking that deal. Congrats, sir. All Alright, last one of these is 1854 New Brunswick. VG's got Victoria on the obverse. It's got the ship on the reverse, and it's going for $10. Going to Dandy Dave, Gratzer. All right. Tell you what, just in case anybody's interested, if anybody wants the last two, that's the 1812 large letters and the 1846. I'll do them as a bundle for $60. That's $15 off. See if we can clear out the last two. $60 for both of these if anybody wants them. Save yourself $15. All right. There's really nobody wanted those. All right, next up. It's a little bundle of just mixed dates of Canadian. These are the 100% nickel dollars. What do you mean all same pattern? For what? What are you talking about? For the deal I just did? No, it's the two. They're not even from the same place. It's the 1846 Rutherford Harbor Grace. That really nice VF that's $45, and then the 1812 Trade and Navigation, large letters. That was $30, and I did it as a deal for $60. If anybody wants both, it knocks $15 off. You quit trying to drive and buy at the same time. So yeah, if you want that deal, Dandy Dave, if you decide you want it, it's $60 for the deal. All right, but this one is $20 for this lot. That is less than $3 each. That's what, $2.50 a coin. So you got the 68. The 69. These are all either BU or proof, by the way. Every single one of these. The 82 commemorative Confederation Constitution. The 84 proof. Very decam. The 84 Jacques Carter commemorative proof decam. I forgot to label that one, but that's an 84 proof. '86 proof. And 87 proof. Anybody? 8 coins, 20 bucks. It's only $2.50 each. These are coins that you're never gonna find in the, if you just buy like the foreign by the pound, you're never gonna find the Canadian dollars in those. All right, moving on. Man, there's still only 6 people on. Where is everybody? I'm like seriously thinking about just switching to Friday, because those last couple of times we had to do it on Friday, we had a much better turnout. And on one of them, somebody popped on and said I was the only coin channel on that was actually streaming at the time, so maybe it would be better. All right, next up is the 1992 Australia Mint Set. Featuring the $1 Olympic game coin. $25 for the set. So that's the Australian $2 coin. The $1 coin, 50, 20, 10, 5. Anybody? And of course it comes with the card that it came with. Info on the insert. Tells you what's on all of them. It's a very cool set. All right, moving on. Two World Silver Time. Kicking off this week is Italy. With a 1958 500 Lyre. 83.5% silver, extremely fine, $20. moving on to the 65 500 liar. This one's an AU for 25. Come on, open up. Anybody? All right, moving on. And then the last one is the 66. This one's a VF for 14. All right, moving on. All right, the Turkey coin went in pre-sale, so we are now on to the Netherlands. Kicking off the Netherlands. We have two of these available. These are 1955 1 guldens. They are both VFs. At $7 each, 72% silver. There is number one. And here is number two. Anybody? I've got one of those coming up here in a second. I don't know what melt is on these right now. The new silver prices. Let's see something real quick. 1955 1 gulden. Let's see. Current melt on these, just the melt alone on these is $5.39. So I've got these priced right now at, that's what, $1.61 over melt. It's not bad. All right, moving on to the 56 1 gulden VF for $7. moving on. And the last of Netherlands, 1964, 2.5 gulden. This one's a BU and 25 bucks. Let's see what this one's at now. Yeah, current melt on this one is $12.44. So list price is 60 bucks. So I've got it at less than half of list. All right, moving on. All right, next up, got 3 coins from Mexico. First one, 1925, 20 centavo. Oh, let me do this under the scope. These are small. 72% silver, VG, 5 bucks. It's 100 years old. All right, moving on. A tough crowd tonight. To the 1934 20 centavo. This one's in a fine, going for 5. I'm going to Dandy Dave, Gratzer. And last from Mexico is the 1942 VF for 5. And going to Doug. Congrats, Doug. And 25 also, you got it. 25 and 42 to Doug. Congrats times 2. You're welcome. All right, next stop around the globe is New Zealand. Excuse me. Kicking off New Zealand is 1933, 3 pence. 50% silver and fine, $3. It's not often anymore you can get a $3 silver coin of any kind. All right, moving on. And then next one up, we got 2 available. One is in a VG, the other one's in a good. They're both $3. So the first person to say Ben will get the VG. So this is the VG. Ooh, wrong one. Where am I at? Okay. You go back over there. I'm not ready for you yet. And here's the good. This has got that cool dark toning going on. Doug's grabbing the VG. Anybody for the good? Which is the one under the camera right now. With the dark toning. Need the 35. Yeah, that's a key date, Doug. $1935, New Zealand, 3 pence, 40,000 minted. Even in just a VF would be list price on just a VF is $140. Mint state 63 is 1,250. All right, moving on. So, yeah, I'd love to stumble across one of those too. Next up, 1942, 3 pence. This one's EF toned. Going for $6. moving on. And last coin from New Zealand. 1946 sixpence. And a VF for 5. Anybody? All right, moving on. To Portugal. And kicking off Portugal will be a 1940 2.5 escudos. 64% silver VG. $4. It's an odd little fact. Going to Dandy Dave, Kratzer. Right, next up is 1943. This one is in a fine for $4. Anybody? Going to Dandy Dave. All right, and the last of these is the 46. Also in a fine and also for $4. All right, moving on to Canada. By the way, all the Indias went in pre-sale. Just FYI, all 4 of them are gone. All right, All but one of tonight's Canada coins are 10 centers. First one is 1940. This one's in a fine, going for $3. These are all 80% silver. Got a pretty good run of the 40s tonight, so if anybody needed some spots filled in your 1940s, might be able to fill some up tonight. All right, moving on. To 1941. Fine for $3. Poorest country in Europe is Albania. That was random. All right, moving on to the 44 EF for $4. All right, moving on to the 45 EF for $4. Moving on. To the 46 EF for $4. And moving on to the 47 VF for $3. All right, moving on. Last of the dimes is the 49. Fine for $3. 47 going to Dandy Dave. Oops. All right, moving on. Oop, wrong way. There we go. All right. You can have drinking water with lots of gas or water with no gas. Yum. If you go to Flint, Michigan, you can have the same thing. Alright, and the last one from Canada, which is also one of our showcase coins for tonight. The 1936 Canada dollar. Only 339.6 thousand of these were ever minted, and it's going for 90 bucks. Anybody? Hey, Fino. This, by the way, is the last world silver coin for tonight. We're now going into U.S. coins. You know what? I'm going to give you guys one more really good deal for tonight. For tonight only on this one, I'm going to do it for 75 bucks. I would think you'd be bored with the Canada ones too, considering it's just your money. And even at 75, nobody wants this. So melt value on this coin alone is $21.56 right now. Still a standard image for the Canadian dollar reverse. The two guys in the canoe. Then you got King George the Older. And if you figure 80% of these have been melted down, means there's roughly about 68,000 of these left in existence anywhere in the world. All right, moving on. Alrighty. So again, all the Indias went in pre-sale, so we are now on to USA, Philippines. Which, this first one I'm actually surprised didn't go in pre-sale. 1921, 50 centavos. $75% silver and fine. Got a little bit of damage on it, which is why it's only 10 bucks. Not often do you see these from the 20s and older. Oh, we do have the entire presidential series. And Roosevelt's on the dimes. Wow, nobody wants this. That is shocking. It's his brother, whatever. It's his brother or his son? It's another member of the family. All right, moving on to the 44S. AU for 12. Take it now, I'm curious. Okay, yeah. Fifth cousin. So distantly related between the two of them. And Franklin Roosevelt's wife was Theodore's niece. Interesting. Doug's coming in on the 1921. You got it, sir. And the peso did go in pre-sale, by the way. All right, moving on. Next up, 1848 braided hair large cent in VG for 20 bucks. This is a set I'd love to put together someday. Hey, didn't you guys hear? According to Trump, Biden's a robot. Trump says Biden died back in 2020 and now he's a robot. Anybody? Only 20 bucks. Hey, Bo. All right, moving on. To the 1864 large motto, 2 center. And a good for 10 bucks. Anybody? I'm going to have to disagree with you, Gold Mabel. I think George Washington would have to be on top because if not, there would be no U.S. Because it was then General George Washington that led the revolution that created the U.S. All right, moving on. To the 1853 silver 3 center. It does have a bit of damage, so it's priced as a pour. Going for 25 bucks. Tell you what, for tonight, if anybody wants it for 20 bucks, I will do it for 20. I do not remember that. For anybody who saw it or knew about it, though, I was bummed out when they canceled the show Designated Survivor. That was a good show. All right, moving on. To an 1866 nickel 3-center. It's in a fine for 30 bucks. Alright, moving on. And this is basically our other showcase coin. You guys have seen this one before. Still trying to get it into somebody's collection. This is the 1870 shield nickel in VF. And it's got a lamb error on the reverse. And the lamb error is right over here. And by the way, I don't even have it priced as an error coin. I just have it priced out as the VF. So I didn't even include that into the price at all. So list price on this coin is basically 130 bucks. It's just as a VF. So I've already got it less than half of list. All right, moving on. God, amazing. That's like the 8th sale that coin has been in, and just nobody wants it. Is there that much hatred for shield nickels? Because I just find that insane. All right. Next 3 lots are 5 V-nickel bundles for $8 each. First bundle, let's get the right camera. Got an 1893. $1900. 1903, 1906, and 1909. Anybody? All right, moving on to bundle number 2. Which is 1898. 1901. 1904. 1907. And 1910. Moving on. And the last bundle, 1899, 1902, 1905, 1908, and 1911. So for anybody who was paying attention, all 3 of the bundles have different coins in them, different dates. And that 1911, that was a really good looking coin. That's at least a fine, if not a low VF. So I'm going to do an additional deal if anybody wants it. 15 different dates of V-nickels. I'll do all 3 bundles for 21 bucks. Saves you an additional $3 if you get all 3. And Phenotypical's taking that deal. Gratzer. Alrighty. Right, next up, we got Buffalo Nickel bundles. These are 5 Buffalo Nickels for 10 bucks. First bundle, 1915. 1918. 1920. 27. And 1930. moving on. To bundle number 2. Got 1916. 19. 24. 28. And 30, San Francisco. All right, moving on. And the last bundle, 1917. That's like a VF. 1919, San Francisco. 1926. 1929 and 1934. And again, all 3 of those bundles had different coins in them. So on these, for tonight, I will do all 3 for $24. That takes $6 off the top. Makes them $8 each instead of 10. For 15 different buffalo nickels. All right, no love for buffalo nickels. Moving on. All right, next up. All right, so these are year bundles of the women's quarters of the San Francisco Mint NIFCs. We got the 22s and the 23s. So these are not the proofs. These are the BUs that you could only get by ordering them in rolls from the mint for that year. It's $5 for year bundle, so it's $1 a coin. So you got 22s are Nina Otero Warren. There's your San Francisco Mint mark right there. Wilma Mankiller. Anna Mae Wong. Sally Ride. And Maya Angelou. Hey, Thomas. And Thomas is grabbing one set of each year. And I can do a bunch of these, by the way. So anybody who wants some, let me know. You're welcome. And then the 23s. You got Edith Kanaka Ole. Maria Tallchief. Eleanor Roosevelt. Jovita Idar. And Bessie Coleman. Anybody else on sets of the 22s and 23s of the NIFC San Francisco BUs? You'll take all the Buffaloes for the 24 deal? You got it, sir. Buffaloes going to Bo. All right, we are moving on. All right, Sacagaweas all went in pre-sale, so we are now on to the presidential proofs. The first one are the 2009s. James K. Polk. Zachary Taylor. John Tyler. And William Henry Harrison. So normally as a bundle deal for these, I would do 12. Tonight only. I'll do 10 for the year. I've got 2 of the years available. That makes them $2.50 each. 2.5 times face for proofs. So that was the first set, and here's number 2. You waiting on me or something? Alright, moving on. And then we got 3 out of 4 of the 2010s. Which is James Buchanan, Millard Fillmore, and Franklin Pierce. And I'll do the same $250 each as a bundle, so $750 for all 3. All right, recap. Banknotes, one of the 1920 100 marks sold, and the 1922 1 million marks sold. The rest are still available of all the German early 1900 marks. Did anybody want to see banknotes again? It's 1914 5 marks, 1910 20 marks, 1914 20 marks, 1919 50 marks, 1920 100 marks. Anybody on any of those? All right, the only out of all 3 ancients, the only one that did not sell is the 359 to 336 BC Greece, Kingdom of Macedonia, Philip II. And I did a deal on that. I dropped the price on it this week. I think I dropped it to 70 for this week instead of 85. I don't know. I'll go 65 on it. If anybody wants it for 65 bucks. Nearly a 2,400-year-old coin. In really good condition. I'll go down from 85 to 65. If anybody wants it. Alright, and then the Canada tokens, only the 1812 and the 1846 are still available. Anybody on those? And I also did a deal on those, which was 60 for both, which knocks 15 bucks off. That, by the way, was the 1812 large letters, halfpenny Nova Scotia in VG, and the 1846 fine wool with rosettes, Rutherford Harbor Grace, halfpenny from Newfoundland in VF. All right, and then the bundle of 8 Canadian dollars, the nickel dollars, is still available, as is the 1992 Australian mint set. Anybody on those? All right, world silver, we've still got Italy, Netherlands. We still got some New Zealand, Portugal. We still have one. Canada. All but one of the dimes and the 1936 dollar. Anybody on any of that? For the world silver. And I also did a deal on that 1936 Canada dollar. I dropped it to 75 for tonight only. Down from 90. It is a BU. All right, USA, Philippines, we still got the 44S 50 centavo. And then the 1848 braided hair large cent. The 64 large motto 2 cent. The nickel and the silver 3 centers are still available. The shield nickel is still available. I even did... No, I didn't do a deal on that. I'll do a deal on that. I'll go 50 bucks on that for tonight. It was 60. I'll go 50. That's the 1870 shield nickel in VF with the lamb error on the reverse. Just as a VF, I looked it up during the stream while we're doing it. Just as the VF, not even counting the lamb error, the list on that coin is 130 bucks. So I already had it at less than half. But if anybody wants it tonight for 50 bucks, I'll do 50 bucks on it. And then women's quarters and presidential dollars. That's everything still available. Still blowing my mind that nobody's taking that shield nickel. The 1936 for 50? No. I paid 60 for it. 75 is the lowest I can go on it. Any room on the Trime? Or the nickel one? Which one? Are you talking about the 1886 or the 1853? Fino? I could go 25. That'd be the lowest I could go. Be $5 off. Correct. 1886. In fine. You want it for 25? You got it. All right. It sounds like I'm saying 1886. 1866. There. Is that better? All right, last call on everything else. I still cannot believe nobody wants this thing. $130 list price, and I just offered it for $50 and nobody wants it. That's almost a third of list. Lowest I could go on that one, Thomas, would be 20. 15 is what I paid. You're waiting to smoke. You might as well just go. Thank you. But if you want it for 20, I'll do it for 20. All right, going to Thomas for 20. All right, anything else for anybody else? All right, guys, I am going to get out of here then. Everybody have a great night. Thanks for coming out. As always, give me a bit to get the invoices out. And again, I will see you guys on Sunday for the 2 months of the monthly loot giveaways. I don't know what time on Sunday, but probably, you guys know me, it'll probably be in the evening. Everybody have a great night. Remember, tell your friends, let's build this thing up. Get more people up in here.